I suppose just to welcome, Dr. Ryan and Professor Kanan there and the team. It's great. I know we only recently, I suppose, heard from you as well, so it really is good to get an update here. Just in relation to the opening statement, I suppose just a couple of comments. Very much welcome the fact there, Dr. Ryan, that you mentioned about the digital skills and increasing the expertise in the areas, and very important at regional areas, especially with the digital skills divide. I suppose the three elements that you talk about, sustainability, solidarity and support. When it comes to sustainability, reconfiguring the funding arrangements, I suppose I have engaged to get further information on that in terms of the Castle's report. And from what I'm aware from the department and from Minister Harris's office, they are meeting the European Commission this week, and I suppose they are engaging with a number of stakeholders, and they are anticipating that a final report from the European Commission will issue by end of Q1 2021, and that will then be presenting their outcomes to the Minister in Q2 this year. So I suppose those are timelines in relation to the Castle's report. For the other parts of sustainability, I was really delighted when I saw the Science Foundation Ireland funding for the SFI research centres, and that was 17 HEIs, and in particular also linked in with institutes of technology. So we could see there that GMIT is linked in and was getting funding as well. And LIT, so Limerick Institute of Technology is there with LIRO. So it was excellent to see that the funding that's coming from SFI is also coming through to the Institutes of Technology. I suppose the other things, like with Curram, I just saw that Athlone Institute of Technology, I suppose, also benefited from research there, or from funding in Curram. It's really important that our institutes of technologies are able to step up, and I very much take on board the points you meant about research capacity. I suppose my questions really relate to that the Horizon 2020 funding that was mentioned here, or the Horizon Europe funding, it's very complex. The ERC programme is very much, the creme de la creme, the excellence of science across Europe, and that is about the research capacity. So in other words, within every member of staff, your research staff, that there's 30% perhaps of their time dedicated. Also that you would have very strong research offices that are supporting researchers and lecturers to apply for this funding. So I suppose my question would be, what is THEA's plan for TUs in terms of that? And also, how are you linking in with Enterprise Ireland? Because another aspect is competitive industry. So, some of the funding that comes through Europe, it's about the partnerships that each of the institutes and technological universities have. And you're already in a very strong position there, having very good relationships with industry and companies in the area. And then again, the very last one is societal impact for Horizon Europe funding. And as you've mentioned there, I suppose solidarity and how you're integrated into the communities. And already we're at deprivation index within Pobble for some of those areas. Very, very important to see that rolled out. And I'm very, very supportive of that in the West. So, sorry, just a couple of questions there. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Paul, do you want to take some of that thing on the issue of TIA and the links on our plans and the research side of things?
I suppose, over the last number of years, TIA has employed somebody specifically to look at the research and development area and engage with the research officers and managers in each of the institutes of technology. And I think that's seeing outcomes now in terms of the improved performance and heard, as Vincent has outlined earlier on, and also the different collaborations that it allows us to get involved in with bigger partners to allow us to access more funding. From our own perspective in Letterkenny, we've been able to avail of Interreg funding through interactions with University of Ulster, Queen's University, and that does two things. It allows funding to come into the institute to try and develop our own embryonic stage research, but it also allows us to engage with more experienced partners that builds capacity within our own institution then. So that's happening right across the country, and you can see institutions then taking on leadership roles in specific programs as well. So it's really important that it's a journey we're on. We see it actually improving in each institution right around the country, no doubt about that. But we also see real opportunities for the future and a real prospect in terms of the term report and what that solved for us and what's ahead of us as technological universities. So we're very conscious of what's expected from us, but we're also very conscious of the pathways that we've already started on and we'll continue to build upon, and you'll see greater integration and interaction over a period of time. I think back to the connectedness piece you were mentioning at the end about the deprivation indexes, etc. I think probably there's a fear, possibly among some people, that as these technological universities emerge, that they may move away from their initial focus in terms of dealing with the people in their own communities. I think that's far from where we are. I think it's very clearly within the legislation that we need to be connected to our original mission, as well as developing the research activity and other activities that are necessary. And the point that Joe made in the presentation, I think, was really important, that the institutes actually reflect the population that they operate within, which is really, really important. So what we're saying is we're lifting all boats in the context of the programs we're providing, giving everybody the opportunity to step up, and that's really having a significant impact. Go back to Deputy O'Callaghan's question at the beginning. He's talking about regional development. I just had a meeting this morning with the country lead for Tata Consulting, who's just about to take over Primerica here in Letterkenny. And just looking at the IDA employment on the border region, it's about 8,500 jobs created there. 4,500 of those jobs are in Letterkenny. They wouldn't be there if we weren't here. And you know that we were here before those companies came in at all. So that has been built up over a period of time. What we need to see is more jobs coming in on the back of that expertise, and we hope that the TUs will continue to do that. As we see, Sligo has been very successful recently in a number of different companies coming in as well.
Thank you. Do I have a minute left, Chair, or?
Very quickly. You have about 50 seconds left.
Just to say thank you, I suppose, to the speakers, and really just a last comment is I very much agree that research infrastructure, there has to be an investment in that. You know, I would agree on that, but I suppose just that I would like to see that the research offices are supporting the teams to access funding, and how they're supported to build their research capability, I think, is crucial altogether. The people to attract that investment are key, and how you recruit and retain them within the TUs is also going to be crucial, because they will win that funding at an international and at a European level. Thanks very much.